every sentient being in the universe. This is the Nighttime Show. Tonight, we have head writer Matt Walker, special guest director of Last Man on Earth, Key and Peele and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Payman Benz. I'm your announcer, Mike Black. And now, the host of the Nighttime Show, Stephen Kramer Glickman.
Yeah, baby, how you doing? I've got emotional problems.
What voice was that?
I don't know. Not a good one. Not a good voice. How we doing? We good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeehaw. Really? A yeehaw?
Yeah.
You know what? Last night I went to go see the movie Zootopia in the movie theater.
Okay.
And if this is airing later, I went and saw it on home video. But I was watching it. I was watching it with my lady,
Right.
and the trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles played.
Sure, with Bebop and Rocksteady and Krang.
I would rather kill myself than watch that movie.
Well, yeah.
Do you feel like that?
Sure.
Is that
Wasn't
kind of the general
Bebop
vibe?
from
Yeah.
Barney?
No. Bebop.
Different Bebop.
Different. Totally different Bebop.
Different Bebops.
Although I would like to see that Bebop in the Ninja Turtles movie would be maybe
Sure.
more
That
interesting.
Bebop has to have an asterisk next to his name because of SAG rules, because
Okay.
of the Bebop you're talking
Yes.
Other Bebop.
Yeah.
There's two E's in Bebop.
Yeah, Roman numeral 2 after Bebop.
No. That seems like it seems really bad. It
Well,
seems
the first one was just
horrendous.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was the same as Transformers, too. It was just like junk exploding. And occasionally, like they'd put, occasionally the
Cowabunga.
junk had a
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
You know, like you'd see eyeballs. And oh, that must be a Decepticon.
Right.
Or something. I could have filmed that at home. I could
Yeah.
have just taken a bunch of garbage and shook
throw
it up
trash.
in a bag.
I mean,
in slow motion, throwing
the
trash in
second
slow
movie
motion.
I ever walked out on in my entire life was Transformers 3. And
Yeah. Yep.
They managed to take Ken Jeong and make him not funny.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You know how hard that is to make him not be funny?
Yeah, they had a lot
Shocking.
of character actors in there that it was, what are you doing? John Malkovich was in there.
Yeah. I don't think I
Francis
lasted long enough to see
McDormand.
him.
Francis
Yeah.
McDormand was in the movie.
Yeah.
From Fargo.
Like Academy Award winner, John Turturro.
John Turturro was in the movie.
John Turturro got a golden shower from Bumblebee in one of the movies. I'm not kidding. That actually fucking happened.
Wow, that's incredible.
You know what? I don't even want to.
Ridiculous. Now I'm mad.
I know.
Now you
I'm
made me
Michael
mad.
Bay.
Yeah.
Look, Michael Bay is a shitty director, but we have a great director here with us today, and we should talk.
hell of a start.
I want to talk to him about what he's been working on, but I want to talk to him about how he feels about this, ladies and gentlemen. As Mike said, from Last Man on Earth, Key and Peele, and most recently Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
And Small Business.
The most phenomenal director I know, Payman Benz. How are you, sir? Yes.
Good. Hey,
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, no disrespect from me to Michael Bay.
Payman's like, I still got to work in this town. Fuck you guys.
You're like, I have to have a job. I don't
he
know.
might
what
need
you're
a comedy
talking
guy one day. I don't want to. Yeah.
about.
Oh, he
God.
needs a comedy
Yes,
guy.
he does.
He desperately needs a comedy guy. And not one day, tonight.
Oh my God.
They need to ship you over immediately.
I'm in.
FedEx.
I'm in. I'm 100% in.
Well, how do you feel about these movies that are coming out, like Ghostbusters? These things. Are you seeing a lot of this?
No,
The reboots.
I've been reboots just make me nervous because I'm just like, this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
I'm often disappointed now when I go to movies, so I almost don't even go. I think I only saw like 4 movies in the theater last year.
You know,
wow.
you know what I dragged Mike to most recently was he's still mad at me. I made him go
Really
see
am.
Gods of Egypt.
Yeah.
I don't even know what
Why
that
would you
is.
do that to him?
That is the
thing-
movie that the Oscars was all upset about because there were
It's a bunch of white people playing Egyptians.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yes.
But I mean,
Oh, it's out-
you know it's
it-
going to be terrible.
But weirdly-
why bother getting mad? Oh, there's not enough Middle Eastern people in this terrible, awful movie that nobody wants to see.
Right.
Well, maybe everyone in the Academy has a friend, a well-meaning friend who makes them go and see a bunch of crap and pay $12 to see it.
Believe me, Mike, I've been there many times with this man.
I made Matt Walker see Valentine's Day.
Why?
And New Year's Eve.
And New Year's Eve.
Matt, you're a good friend. You're a really good friend.
I'm a bad friend. I constantly make them see shitty, horrible movies.
Yeah, he's-
Holy crap.
we all went to go see Annie. Were you there when we saw Annie, Mike?
No, I didn't see Annie.
When we saw Black Annie? It
No.
was-
Do you guys ever go
You
to-
know they're just going to call it that on the Blu-ray now. They've
Just
just given
Blanny.
up- It's Black Annie.
It's Blanny.
Blanny.
Do you ever take them to good movies?
No, I
Once.
drag him to good movies. I took him to Deadpool.
Yes.
Okay. I do
we-
my part as a
We
friend.
did see. He did drag me to this movie. I had no idea what it was going to be, and we go there, and he's like, "Oh, it's this cool horror movie I've been hearing about. It's from New Zealand." And we get there, and it was What We Do in the Shadows, and it was fantastic. That's one of the funniest movies I've seen in the theater
Oh, yeah.
in years.
Great.
great.
And I had no idea what it was going in. And did you even know it was a comedy, or did you just know it was like?
No, I had heard good stuff about
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he took me to see that, and then he took us to see Blazing Saddles.
He
we
did.
met Mel
He
Brooks
did.
the other day.
Oh.
I
Mel
win.
Brooks.
I won.
Yeah, he
that.
makes
Made
up for it.
a lot of it.
Because he took us to see Mel Brooks speak, and we saw Blazing Saddles in the theater with 3,000 people, and then we went backstage and met Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Wow.
We hung out in his dressing
So
room.
it makes
It
up
was
for
sweet.
it.
You just
that
bought
was
yourself
pretty
some
Yeah.
future bad
lot of
movies.
leeway.
When there's a Chinese Annie, you can take those guys to that one.
Channing. Can't wait for Channing. It's going to be great.
Channing.
Starring Carol Channing. Because Asian people don't get to play Asian people in the movie. So it's an Asian Annie, but played by a white person. It's what they'll do in Hollywood.
God.
When Catwoman 2 comes out, we're all set. Front row.
Catwoman 2, The Electric Boogaloo.
Steven's taken us to so many bad movies. You wouldn't know it, but me and Matt are both 22 years old. That's how many shitty movies we've seen.
You guys look like shit for 22.
I like bad movies though. I like bad. I get
Take
really,
Payman.
really
Take
bad.
Payman.
Let me know. Seriously,
Let him go in our
Absolutely.
They're
studio.
exciting. I bought Geely on DVD because it's so bad.
Did it have an alternate
And
ending?
Did-
like
No,
on DVD
I
or
wish.
Did you
anything?
think that Geely would have been better if it was SpongeBob and Foghorn Leghorn that played the parts?
We did that in another episode.
We just did that with Bill Farmer, who was
Goofy.
voiceover guy extraordinaire.
really?
And he did Foghorn Leghorn as Geely. And
I did SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
That's amazing.
So you bought Geely.
I bought it and then I lost it during a move. And so I got it again. So I bought Geely twice. It's like really embarrassing. But it's like as a director, you just get confidence when you watch something that
because
it's
you're like, I
even,
could do that. It's,
even the audio is. But you're like, oh, they didn't even do a sound bit. They were just like, put it out. They were over it. It's so. There's so many flaws in it that it's beautiful.
the first thing I was ever in that was on camera is probably the worst movie I've ever seen. This piece of crap called Tears of a Clown, and I have like two lines in it.
It's a bad movie.
And like you go there and you can't hear the dialogue over the soundtrack. Like it's like the rap music is playing and the people are talking and you're like, wait, well, what are they saying? All I can hear is the guy rapping. Like it's
Rap music over dialogue.
over the dog, like the whole movie.
That's the worst genre to play
The whole
under
movie. Yeah,
dialogue.
it was, You're like, what the hell?
Words rapping over a guy being like,
Yeah.
I missed you last night.
That was my big screen debut.
It's hard out there for a pimp. Is that over the top
And
of it?
then my two lines, you see me on the screen, and then you don't see me on the screen, and then you hear me say my two words, so nobody even knows that I'm the guy who said it.
Oh, what?
Except
crap.
in the promos for the film, you see a shot of me standing right behind the star of the movie, like, and they use that as like the promo picture for the movie. So I'm in all the promo they did for this terrible movie that nobody saw anyway.
Worth it.
God.
Worth
Yeah.
it.
You know,
So when people were demanding their money back, there was no Matt Walker in
Yeah.
this movie.
They're like, here he is, right here in the picture.
hey guys, you got to check this out. There's this new app that I'm using, and I'm obsessed with it. It's called Yo Shirt, and you
Yo
can
Shirt?
get it. Yeah, you can get it on your phone. You got to try this thing. It's super, super cool.
What does it do?
Okay, so Yo Shirt is the app for creating one-of-a-kind apparel and accessories on your iPhone.
What?
Yes, I mean, you can take a picture of a comic book cover, your favorite comic book, Mike, okay? Take a picture of that, one of your famous Instagram photos that you do
Sure.
of, like, action figures fighting
I
each other.
love photography.
Take one of those pictures, and you can turn it into a T-shirt you can wear at Comic-Con or at any con or at anything, any day of the week. It
doesn't even have to be a
It doesn't have to be a Comic-Con. It could be anything.
Can you take a picture of an ex-con and get that on a shirt?
You can put an X-Con on a shirt. What else can you put on a shirt? Ex-girlfriend you can put on a shirt. Anything with an X.
Shaka Khan?
Shaka Khan you can put on a shirt. Whatever you want. This thing is incredible.
Now, when you put it on the app, Is that it? You just print up a boring old picture?
No. You can do all sorts of stuff to customize your designs with stickers, backgrounds, text, whatever you want. You can share your creations.
Shirts. You can only
Just
do
shirts?
shirts.
No, there's so many different. You gotta check out this app, guys.
What else besides shirts?
There's sweaters, there's leggings, there's underwear, there's tote bags, there's socks.
Now, a lot of these apps try to rip people off. You give them your financial information.
Oh, no. These guys are incredibly secure, super fast. It's a secure checkout with Apple Pay. All right? Now, this is a quick note to our listeners, because I know we have listeners all over the world. YoShirt ordering and shipping is currently only available in the U.S. and Canada. But if you are a fan of YoShirt and you're in another country, we're going to be getting cool YoShirt stuff, and if you let us know that you live in another country, we'll ship it to you as a gift. You are sure to impress your friends and your family when you express yourself with YoShirt. Guys, don't forget to check it out. It's a super cool app, YoShirt.com. That's YoShirt.com, YoShirt.com.
Tell all your friends.
Payman, you really have had a rise as a director. I'm a real rise. You see people who just happen to get a gig, and then they happen to get some huge gig, and you're like, what the hell? But you went from doing web stuff. Your first when I look you up as a director, the first thing that comes up, of course, is needle anus. That's the first thing that comes
really?
up.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
it's the number. It was number one. The first director job on IMDb that you did, right?
It's the first short. I did it in college, and it's the first thing I did that got into festivals, and that kind of started everything.
It's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it's I was making fun of all the pretentious dramatic shorts that the other people in my school were making at that time.
Could you explain it to them?
Yeah, I was just sick of seeing 20-year-olds playing the dads of 20-year-olds in these student films, and everything was about drug overdoses and shit. We're none of you have lived that. What is this? And everything was so over the top. So I decided to make fun of it. And I made a short that's really dramatic and sad for 7 minutes, and then it just completely falls apart with the worst slapstick joke.
You tell them what it is.
So the whole setup is a guy's dying in the hospital, and it starts with a scene with his girlfriend, and he's broken up with her because he's like, I don't want you to mourn me, so we should break up, and she's crying. It's so stupid. And when we shot it, I told my crew, nobody smiles on set. We're shooting this portion like it's a drama.
Yeah.
And so we're going to play it totally straight. And then my DP goes, how do you want me to shoot it? And I said, I want you to shoot it like you're a film student who watched 21 Grams and then picked up a camera. And that's exactly how we shot it. It's super handheld, just constantly rack focusing, just unnecessary bullshit the whole time. And oh yeah, I love Lars von Trier. I'm going to do that bullshit. So he's dying, and then there's something going on with him and his brother that you don't really know. Something's going on. It cuts to a week or so later. The doctor's like, you have 48 hours to live. He's like, I want to see my brother. It makes no sense. The doctor offers to drive him home. So he gets driven home by the doctor, and his brother's outside, just happens to be doing woodwork. And then he goes up, they have a moment, they hug, it's beautiful, they're walking into the house, and you think it's over. And then his brother slips and falls on a board, and then a horrible text graphic comes up with my voice that yells, needle! And then it gets closer, and he falls again, and it says, anus! Then it gets even closer, and you see that a nail in the board goes right into the guy's ass. And then they stare at each other, he screams, and then I yell, needle anus, with the worst graphics you've ever seen in your life.
Anus.
And then it goes, and it was literally just me recording a voice in my closet, because I just I just got so excited that I was at the end that I was like, oh, I'm just going to finish it up. And then it goes back to the emotional, sad music, and it goes back to that. And I wanted to call it needle anus because I thought it would just confuse people. It's a nail that goes in the ass. And I was like, oh,
it's not even a needle.
Nothing makes sense. But when we
There's no Matt Walker in this.
When we took it to festivals, everybody makes promotional art, and there's all these index cards and posters everywhere. So everybody has these beautifully drawn artistic posters, and ours was all black, lowercase, needle anus, period. And we would go across the theater, and you would just see people pick ours up immediately and take it. And we had bumper stickers, and we had condoms made with the wrappers with our logo on it. We were giving them out everywhere. I don't think they were good condoms.
Did you have condoms and stick a nail through them?
Oh, that would have been. But there was people that said they used them, so there could have been a needle in his baby boob that we don't know about.
We don't know.
But we decided to concoct this story that it was based on a true story, except for the ending. That my friend died and asked me to like make this thing and was like, can you make it funny? So I made it. So we basically tricked everybody at the festivals into thinking that it was a dramatic thing. So I would tell, and everyone was like, they didn't know what to think because this title is so stupid. But then here's this like really, and my story was so detailed that like people would get emotional when I would be telling them the story. So the most fun thing about the short is once you've seen it, showing it to other people, because then it's just 7 minutes of tension and you're trying not to look at them. So we would sit in the front row and look back and see people crying for the first 7 minutes, and we're like, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. And then it's such a slow burn. Like there's the first needle and everyone's like, what the fuck? And then it's like anus. Like, what? And then it keeps going. And the laughter went on like 2 minutes into the next short film because people were still like processing it. And the festival liked it so much that they had a really dark short that played like a couple after hours. And it was like the point of view of someone being kidnapped and murdered. It was like the most horrifying short I've ever seen. I was like, why even make that? Like, why make that? Don't make it. Just don't make that. And right when it ended, they played our ending again just to make just to make they did. Yeah, they called and asked if I was down with it, and I was like, well, as long as the other filmmakers are okay, because I feel like that's kind of shitty to them.
Oh my god, that's so
everybody was on board. But that short started everything. That got into a bunch of festivals, and that's when I was like, oh, maybe I can do something. And then I moved down here, and
that's
everything
amazing.
went. But it's a weird one. I still have like a pillow on my couch that says needle anus. So people come over and they're like, what is this thing here?
Was it done with needlepoint?
No, it should. Yeah, where were you when I was doing this?
I got all the ideas.
Come on, Matt.
Is it available to see on YouTube and stuff?
It's definitely on Vimeo. I think it's on YouTube as well.
Cool.
Now I have a question for you.
Stupid.
If you search for Payman Benz in Google, it comes up with related searches, and one of those, the top related search, is Brooklyn Decker. And I feel like there's a story there that we should know about.
I was in a branded video for, I think Break made it for Just Go With It, that movie that she was in.
Sure, yeah.
So a buddy of mine was directing it, and he would sometimes just give me like the goofy role in these sketches. So it was 4 of us playing poker. It was me, Adam Devine, Adam Ray, and Brooklyn Decker. Adam had already shot the first season of Workaholics, but it hadn't come out. And it was so funny because in the end edit, what happens basically is she ends up punking me and giving me a wedgie, and like she gets really aggressive with me. And the funny thing is, I'm not an actor, and you have Adam Devine and Adam Ray who ended up having like like normal acting careers, and they're like pretty much out of the sketch, and it makes no sense.
Hysterical.
But we got to spend like a whole night with her, and she's like super awesome, and she would give me a hug after every take where she was giving me the wedgie, and I was giving eyes to all the guys. It was pretty
Very
cool.
nice.
Yeah,
You're like, take a picture of this. Take a
I was
picture.
like, please, and I will never forget that. No, but she's awesome. She's really
What
good.
do you feel?
Oops, I messed up my line again. Oh no.
You know, there's some wedgie fetishist out there that's just jealous as hell now.
Yeah.
Some guy just
jacking
masturbated
it to that
Yeah,
video.
right now.
That
Oh
commercial.
my God.
Right now, to my voice. I'm sorry.
What was the gig that kind of took things to the next level for you? I mean, because I know you did some stuff at with Kimmel and stuff.
Yeah,
was that
I mean,
kind of a big jump? Or
It was
what
honest.
Was the big jump?
It was a really slow burn for 10 years because I've been out. You know, in end of January was 10 years, and then it was like every year I just took one more little step. And it's a very long story. You know the story, but in the first year I was out here, Adam Sandler saw a bunch of my work and brought me into Happy Madison and basically got me an agent. They called the agencies that were like, Adam loves this guy, sign him.
Wow.
And then I was up to direct The House Bunny before I knew 2 people in this town. I knew nobody here. And I met with like the head of Columbia Pictures. I had no idea. Like the most people that had ever been on my set were 3. It was me. I was directing and holding boom, and my DP and like one other buddy that was helping out, and that's it. But Adam really liked my sensibility. And obviously, I didn't do the movie, but that got things going really early. But then I didn't have any credit, so nobody could do anything with me. So then I was like, okay, well, that was validating. Now I got to do the work for a long time because nobody's going to give me anything. I've just done these stupid, needle anus was my top credit
Right,
at that point. So it was just a slow burn, and I just would do sketches, and then people started seeing my stuff, and then I was doing stuff for the Midnight Show, which is a sketch group at the UCB, and like that's a lot of my favorite work that I got to do that got a lot of my stuff seen. And then And then I was at Kimmel directing sketches for like almost a year. And then that was really great. And then what I think really took it to the next level is when Peter Atencio, who's the main director on Key and Peele, who did 99% of the show, is a good friend of mine. He brought me in the last season to direct a handful of sketches, along with another directing pair, and that really changed everything.
What sketches on Key and Peele?
The big ones that are online are, there's one called Acapella Group. That's my favorite one I got to do with them.
Unbelievable.
Oh, you saw that one?
Of course.
Oh, great. Yeah, that was like my favorite. When I read that script, I like starred it 5 times. I was like, please give me this sketch.
Yeah.
Then there's one called Severed Head Warriors where they're like battling and Jordan like decapitates a dude and is like showing off
And then
his
he's
head.
like trying to do stand-up.
It basically is like a comedy, but there's no words. It's like it's almost like a caveman doing comedy. It's like really
it's
crazy.
a really solid acting and really solid directing job on that one because it starts so intense. It starts like Game of Thrones style, and then it just departs from that into this hilarious, just really funny stuff.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of what Peter brought to the show. It was like his philosophy was like make every sketch feel like the best scene of a movie pulled out.
Wow.
So all it said at the beginning of that script is a battle concludes, and then I had to just be like, okay, what if this happens and that happens? And he gave me the freedom to just like figure out the scene. I never shot a battle scene, and we kind of shot the hell out of it in Griffith Park.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Went to a LARP group and just was like, do your thing.
Yeah, the LARP people love that sketch.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's a great
There's
sketch.
LARP people masturbating to that sketch.
They're jacking it.
Might be the same guy.
I'm going to make a foam sword, and I'm going to rub
I
it.
should be following this guy on Twitter. What am I doing?
This is the best day of my life.
That's amazing.
But yeah, Key and Peele really, because everybody in town loves that show, so that had a lot to do with everything.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I know. Like when I was trying to do that show that we got to work on together for like a week. I think we shot for a week.
Yeah.
But it was like the coolest thing I've ever gotten to do ever. It was such
And
a
that one
good
little
time.
kid is like in everything now. That one little girl.
That little girl.
Oh, yeah, she is.
Francesca Capaldi.
See her all the time.
Yeah.
She got cast on a show called Dog with a Blog, and then starred on that show as one of the leads. It was a show about a dog that has a blog, by the way. So realistic and amazing. But
I love thinking about the stack of things I have at home that can't get funded. But dog with a blog.
Dog with a blog.
I know every note is like grounded in reality. Dog with a blog.
I just thought that like one of the things that I really liked about that process was that like I go in and we've all worked on lots of really cool projects, but when you go in and then you're like, you go in and like, oh, this is the show, and they're like, that sounds interesting, and then you're like, this is who's directing it. And I told them that we had talked, and I was like, this is who's going to direct it, and they were like, yep. Okay.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
They were like, well, we don't have to worry then. And that was like before a lot of stuff that you had done. I think that was before Kimmel.
It was way before. Yeah,
it was way before Kimmel.
I had so many generals there. For years, I would go into Comedy Central, and they'd be like, we love you, we just don't have the right project yet. We love you. Because usually somebody comes to the project with a director attached. So
Sure.
It was hard to get in there, and I didn't have the credits.
It was Abby Robertson that introduced us to
Oh, yeah. I love Abby.
Great,
she's
great manager.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, this is super cool. So tell us...
And don't you think Steven should go back to that hairstyle? I've been trying to talk him into it for quite a while.
It's a good look.
I think I would probably book more work if I looked like that.
You probably would, actually.
Which, the Ming the Merciless thing you had going on?
Yeah, it was just a mustache. It was just a mustache,
and he had that.
And then I had the George Costanza haircut.
Well, if you wait long enough, it may just happen.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We both should rock that look everywhere.
We should.
Like I said,
Everyone will think they're getting audited everywhere we go.
you'll be like twins, but which one's Schwarzenegger, which one's DeVito? I don't know.
We're both DeVito.
I call Schwarzenegger just because I've seen more of his movies.
Tell us about Last Man on Earth. That's a huge show.
Another Schwarzenegger project.
It is. Arnold is the co-creator and star of that show. I've done 3 episodes of that show for season 2, and that's the craziest. Because that was my favorite show before getting to work on it.
Sure.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if I'll ever get to say that again, but
even with the false advertising in the title.
yes.
Because I tuned in, like I hadn't seen the show, and I tuned in like halfway through season 1. I'm like, there's like 4 people. This is bullshit. What the fuck?
The title's
really holds
the
a
title's
grudge.
very relevant to the pilot, and then,
And after that, it's like I was like, there's people running around. What the hell is this?
Oh my god, that pilot is hilarious. That show's great though. It's a big show.
It's great, and the pilot I've watched a million times. I mean, it's like a movie. It's one of the best. I couldn't believe
really is.
that was on network television. I was shocked that a show like that was on network.
What
TV.
is it like? I mean, getting on a set like that. I mean, that is a huge set. That's
Right.
a lot of people.
Big
What's-
network show,
Yeah.
good handsome budget, not like
Yeah,
super
and
high
you're
budget,
on
but it's
location
a
a
solid
lot.
budget for that show.
What's that like working on a show that big?
Awesome. I'm so used to just doing the no budget stuff. For years, I was the guy where they're like, you can do stuff with nothing, right? And make it stylish, and you have half an hour to shoot it. And we have 10 people and 1 camera. But so it was amazing.
Was this like the first time you've had that big budget? Was that the first one? Or?
Definitely. Like I had done, there's a show on TV Land called Teachers that it's concluding tonight. I directed the whole season of that show.
Wow.
And it was the same showrunner from Key and Peele, so that's how it happened. Jay Martellini and Roberts really liked me, and then I met with the girls and we clicked, and then one thing led to another.
That's so great.
That was, basic cable. You get 4 days to shoot an episode, and you have no money, especially in a first season of a show, and the show has a lot of producers on it. So it was like right off the bat, we were scrambling, but like that's been my training for 9 years. So it was fine. So then going to Last Man, where they're like, you get 1 week to prep and 5 days to shoot. I'm like, I get 5 days to shoot? Like, this is crazy. Wow. And the funny thing is, like, I meet with the network that's like, do you think you could, like, handle network? And I was like, more resources than an additional day of shooting? I think I can. I think it's the cable people should be asking broadcast directors, can you handle nothing?
Cable.
Like, so it was great. I got to, kind of work at a pace where I can work with the actors a little more, and our days weren't crazy. It's a very visual show, so like it's demanding. You have to get a lot of shots, and it's not like, there's a lot of shows where it's just like cross coverage. It's almost basically like televised improv. Those shows are like, they have directors because they just legally have to have a director. Sure. But on this show, it was like you're being a filmmaker, and I knew the show front and back, like, because I had watched the whole season, and then I watched it one more time when I wrapped Teachers, and then I had a meeting for it, and I watched the whole season again, and then I had a second meeting, and I watched the whole season.
How did you get that first meeting? Like, what happened? Did they call you, or did your agent called somebody, or how'd that work out?
No, so the way it actually worked out is that one of the executive producers of the show is at Lord Miller. His name's Seth Cohen. Seth used to be a Comedy Central executive, and this dude has had my back since day one. Like, our friend Jordy, who's at Comedy, Jordy said, Seth would just bring me up constantly, like, we got to give this guy a chance. We got to give this guy a chance. And, like, it didn't happen by the time he left. So when Teachers wrapped, he was like, let's catch up. Like, I'm at Lord Miller now. Have you been watching the show? I was like, yeah, what do you think? I want to direct it. Like, we kept talking. And then he goes, I want you to meet with the studio and the network. So he set up the meeting with them. He's like, let me just do it because I have a shortcut to them.
Amazing.
So he did that. And then there was another meeting with another EP on the show. And then at that point, I was like waiting. I was like, all right, maybe I'll get it, maybe not. I've gotten so many no's over 10 years that I was like, whatever. I got a meeting for a show. Like, at least the meeting went well. And then I started seeing the cast tweet about they started shooting, and I was like, oh, I guess I didn't get it. And then one morning I woke up to an email that was like, they're giving you an episode. It's in like a month. So I had a month of just like, don't die for this month.
Oh my God.
Don't get hit by a car.
Yeah, like I was like in like survival mode where I was like, I just need to do this and I'll be satisfied.
Like George Costanza when he had the oven mitts on when he was a hand model. Like, don't touch anything. Be really careful.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrap yourself in bubble wrap. Like, don't break my leg. Don't fall down. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It really and so I did the one and it went well, and then by just a bunch of things kind of lined up, and another episode opened up like 2 weeks later, and they were like, hey, they liked the cut of your episode. Do you want to do another one? I was like, yes. So like did another one the next week, and then by chance another one opened up at the end of the season, and they threw me a third.
That's when
one.
being
So,
the new
like,
guy really works out, because they probably think these other guys are like, they have stuff lined up like all the time, and they're like, this guy, he doesn't have anything else going on, so you can slip into those
and
opportunities.
And also in that show, they, some shows they're just constantly bringing in new directors. That show really tries to keep it to like a few people because it's so specific. I mean, it's not a show that anybody can come in and do. So like John Solomon, who's one of the EPs on the show, he did 6 or 7 this year. No, maybe 8 this year. Jason Woliner did 5. And then I did 3, and then other people did like 2 or something here and there. So
What's
like
the relationship like on set between you and like the creators of the show, like guys like Phil, like Phil Lord, guys like that?
Phil and Chris are there for, at least in my episodes, they would be there for the table read and then like the notes afterwards with the network. But those guys are so busy that they're not there on set. I'm sure they were in season 1, but they're not now.
Yeah.
So I'm there at my mini monitors with the writer of the episode the whole time.
Oh, wow.
So we're working, and I'm kind of I kind of feed off of the writer. Rob, like I'll pitch a joke, and I'm like, does that joke make sense on the show? Would you guys do a joke like this? So a lot of it in the first episode was me kind of figuring out what worked, and then by the third episode, I knew it so well that I would just pitch a joke and know like, oh, this will be fine. And then Will is also very hands on, so he'll come up and we'll talk about the scene afterwards. If he's not in it, he's kind of sitting with us, and but. Yeah, it's like super collaborative and
what was awesome. One of your favorite memories of the show while you were working?
I'm trying to think. What's one of the? There's one thing that happened that was in the episode the other night, and this won't give away the scene, but this thing Will did. I've never seen actors try to hold their shit together more than this. It's a very dramatic setup. He's about to give a speech to the group. And something tragic has happened within the group, and he's got a guitar, and he's kind of strumming it and tuning it for like 2 minutes as he's like, guys, this is going on. So I decided to write. I wrote a little song about what's going on. He gives the name of the song, and he starts singing. And instead of playing the guitar, he's just tapping on it like a drum for the whole thing, and never actually plays a chord. And I don't even know how we had enough footage of everybody not laughing because they were dying. Like we were dying on set. Like Mary, who's like Mary Steenburgen, who's like a really accomplished, like seasoned actor, could not hold her shit together, and she was just like, every time he drums, it gets me. So like,
and that's such a subtle thing too, for everyone to pick up on it and everything.
And it was like the last scene of the episode, and it was like going into the holiday, so everybody was like already in vacation mode, and then it was like the dumbest joke possible that I'm like, I just couldn't wait for it to air because I was like, that's such a smart joke. Like it's like perfect. What that show rides the line of drama and silly.
Well,
really
that
well.
show is a very silly. That show is Last Man on Earth is a very like serious but funny show. Like it really does seem realistic. Like it feels very realistic. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which you just directed, is a very outlandishly kind of silly show. It's not Angie Tribeca, which is completely ridiculous. And Spy Hard. But that show, which you should totally direct an episode of Angie Tribeca.
It's fun. Oh my god, it sounds like you'd just be laughing the entire time.
God, completely. Yeah. So what was that like? What is it like doing
super fun? I mean, it's like it not only is the show fast when you're watching it, they shoot faster than they were shooting so fast that I couldn't keep up. Where I'm like, wait, what? We're done already? Like, what's happening here? Like, our first day, our call time was like
here's
8.
your check. Thanks for coming in.
I'm driving off the lot at 3 p.m. and I'm like, did we get everything? Like, I'm like, dude, should I add more shots to the shot list? Like, what the hell's going on here? But they have 3 cameras. And they're just the crew and they're just in sync. So they by this point, season 3,
the third season,
third season,
okay.
So they fly, and the cast is. That cast
so
is.
talent.
Oh my god! It's like what note could I give? I'm like, be more perfect. Like I don't know. Like, it's like there's like you can't give a note to like Andy or Chelsea or Joe Luttrell. They're all so funny that I'm like,
so good.
Yeah, just keep doing it. It's great. It's gonna be awesome.
God. That's amazing.
So it was really fun.
So you were acting the way I act during a really good lap dance. Just whatever you want to do is
that's
you're
me.
doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah,
you don't need any notes.
No. Yeah.
Have you ever had to give someone notes during a lap dance?
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely.
That's my zipper. Stop it. Stop it.
You're sitting on my knee and you're hurting me. My keys are digging into my side.
You're not trying to break it off.
I've never had a bad lap dance. I guess that's it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, then you haven't lived.
Oh well, I'll take you somewhere. You know how much I love bad things. Hey, here's a quick question for you. There's a new show that you're working on right now. Tell us about this new show. It's called
Son of Zorn.
Son of Zorn.
Yeah, so I'm doing 2 episodes of that show. It's a new Fox show. The main director and one of the EPs on the show is this guy Eric Appel, who's an incredible director. He's done a bunch of stuff. He used to be at Funny or Die, and he's done every TV show in the world. And it's another Lord Miller show.
Oh,
my
God.
The show it's a live-action show, but the main character is a 2D animated cartoon.
What?
Wow.
And, yeah.
okay.
And he's basically...
Are you serious?
Yeah, and he's basically a He-Man-ish person. Like, he's kind of modeled after... Like, that's the style. He's like a warrior.
Nice.
The voice is Jason Sudeikis. So the setup is he used to live here, and he had a wife and a son. The wife was Cheryl Hines. The son is Johnny Pemberton. He's left.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a great cast. He's left to go to his homeland and has been kind of like a dad who hasn't been around. So he's been gone for a few years and like comes back to like reconnect with his family. And his wife's like, "You haven't been here in 3 years. Like, I'm engaged." And she's engaged to Tim Meadows, who's like, he plays an online professor who's like super insecure about his job. It's like the funniest thing you could give Tim Meadows ever.
Oh my God.
So he's come back and it's basically, but it's really grounded. It's basically like as if he like went to the East Coast to be a cop for 3 years and was like not a good dad and coming back to be like, "Hey, everything's cool, right?" But he like sucks and he has to get a job and an apartment. So he like, there's just this cartoon character interacting with the world and nobody freaks out that he's like a warrior. It's just like he's just some dude.
Did they forget that he's a cartoon? They don't forget he's a warrior, but did they freak out that he's a cartoon? Wow.
It's like
okay.
totally normal.
Just
How do
like
you-
that's that guy. That's his thing.
But
Yeah.
how are you directing a cartoon?
So the
during
way
show?
they shot a presentation and Eric and them, they all figured out this process. And it's really amazing how they do it. They have a guy on set, this guy Dan, who's like super tall and has this like really deep voice. And he has some comedy training, like improv, and he's done stand-up. So he's really funny. So we do a rehearsal with him. Then we film a take with him. So the animators know where Zorn would be about. Then we take him out and we give eye lines to the actors and he's off camera saying his lines and they're just looking in the direction he was at.
Jeez.
And like, but then they added like movement and stuff. And then the company doing the animation is Titmouse. So there's somebody from Titmouse.
I worked there. I
really?
worked at Titmouse, yeah.
So there's somebody there on set, like getting the stills from DIT and drawing a temp Zorn so the editor knows how to scale them later. And then the animatics and stuff all happens later.
That sounds amazing.
It's the coolest process ever. I've never done anything like it. But, I went and shadowed for a week and kind of saw how Eric was doing it and how they put it together. So I just did an episode last week and then I got another one next month.
What network is this?
Fox.
Dude, Johnny Pemberton, by the way, killing it. On Superstore, that dude is hilarious. He's finally getting some like really funny gigs.
And
TV
this show,
gigs.
he is Son of Zorn. It's about him. I mean,
Holy crap.
It's him. He's Son of
that's
Zorn.
cool.
Yeah, so it's a big deal for him.
That's
As
unbelievable.
a He-Man fan, I'm stoked just off of everything you told me.
When I met
if I were
Ford,
the head of a studio, I'd be like, "We can't write checks fast enough."
yeah, when I saw it, I was like, I don't even care if I get this. I just want to see this. I just hope this airs because, like, yeah, Fox has taken some risks, man. They're doing some cool stuff. It's awesome.
All right. So, Payman, look, I'm so happy you're here. One of the people that you have not gotten to meet on the air today is our dear friend and our mascot, our show mascot, Robbie Carlisle. How are you, Robbie?
I'm good.
Robbie, we like to play a game with Robbie, and so it's a game that we play, and you're going to play it right now.
Okay.
And it's called What Did Robbie Do? What did Robbie do? What did Robbie do? That's the intro for What Did Robbie Do? Okay, so this is a multiple choice payment.
Okay.
What did Robbie do? Did he A, Robbie's first gay experience was while watching Big Mama's House?
Okay.
Was it B, Robbie was cast as the before guy in a Slim Fast commercial? Or C, Robbie in high school tried to have sex with a loaf of bread to see if he was gay? I can't even deal with this right now. All right, one more time. A, Robbie's first gay experience was at Big Mama's House 3. B.
3? Was there 3?
Yes. B, Robbie was cast as the before guy in a Slim Fast commercial. Or C, Robbie in high school tried to have sex with a loaf of bread to see if he was gay. A, B, or
man.
C?
Oh man.
Which one's true?
I'm gonna say. Man, there's some two really fun choices.
Remember, this is for charity.
I'm gonna. Oh, jeez. Okay.
The stripper needs it.
I'm gonna go with A.
The answer is A. You win! Yeah!
Why does that sound so much more realistic than me being
The loaf of bread was too good to be true.
It was too good to be
That's
true.
like too amazing. It's like
Robbie, this is a true story?
Yeah.
Your first gay experience was, were you in the movie theater when
in
this
the
happened?
movie theater. I went down on a guy during Big Mama's House 3.
Oh my! You just get so turned on by.
Was it at the premiere?
It was Martin Lawrence. He does something for me. In a dress, out of a dress. It's so.
Oh God!
It might not have been gay if he was in the dress.
Pretty sure it was gay. Yeah, that's okay. Where did this happen? What movie theater?
God,
Can
it
we
was the
name the movie
Grauman's
theater?
Chinese Theater.
It was not. It was
the Grauman's Chinese
Wow.
Theater.
Wow.
historic.
Yeah, no, like
Someone is not getting invited back.
if you can't stop sucking dick in a movie theater like Big Mama's House 3,
I don't think they're that energetic anymore about giving that speech. It's like, if you can't stop sucking dick.
What seats were you sitting in? So I never sit in those seats.
we were in the back seats, like 3 seats before like the far back row.
The dick sucking rose.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Well, that's understandable then.
Were there a lot of people? Was it a big screen, like a packed screen?
There was a big turnout.
It
for,
was like maybe 20, 30 people there.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's like a Tuesday.
Yeah, no. Like the guy and I, we'd met that day, and he bought me dinner, Matt.
Wow.
what did you have for dinner, Robbie?
There was this. We went to this one restaurant. It's closed now, but
Musso and Frank's? Or
it was across the street from Musso and Frank's. And
McDonald's?
No, not that one. Jeez.
God.
I'm that
I don't
easy.
think that
No,
counts.
it was like this. It was right by the Pig and Whistle.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and
the little in the Egyptian courtyard there?
yeah, and
It used to be Sharkies or something?
yes, that's what, and we had calamari.
Did you blow a guy at the Egyptian?
I didn't know it was
Sharky's
Robbie at the
mic?
time.
Where were you on the night that
I was like, I think that's Curly Sue grown up. I'm going to buy her a taco.
She's got kind of a low voice, but she is sexy. That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we adore you, Robbie. We appreciate that. Payman, where can people find you? Where in the world can they find you?
Twitter? It's Payman Benz.
I like that.
Yeah.
Where else? Anywhere else they
That's
can
right.
track you down?
That's everything's
That's probably
on
all
there.
you'd like them
Yeah.
to find.
Like, what's your address?
What's your LinkedIn?
Yeah, all the relevant stuff's on there. I update. If I have something, I put it up there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
When does the new show air?
Zorn.
You have a bunch of shows
Son of Zorn
airing.
doesn't air till the fall, so that they got a lot of work to do on that. And then I have my Brooklyn Nine-Nine is later in the season. I don't know when it airs, and then The Last Man on Earth, the last episode that I did is like the second to last episode, which again I don't know when. It's
Sure.
coming up some point.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So damn cool. I hope that you come back and tell us more cool shows, stories, and talk about things. That would be
Anytime.
terrific.
Well said, Stephen.
Yeah.
Well said.
I'm very good. I'm very good at my job.
Anytime, man.
Very articulate
You
these
should
days.
host a podcast.
Thanks, buddy. Mike, where can they find you on the internet?
At Mike Black Attack on all social media that I'm doing.
All right. And Robbie, what about you?
They can find me at Twitter at Robbie Carlisle or Facebook, or they can come to the nighttime show.
Yes. you can-
Come to the damn nighttime show.
Yes, or they can come to the Chinese theater and meet you in the back row.
Or they can come in the Chinese theater.
They can come inside that Chinese.
Well done,
Robbie.
Payman Benz. Well done. Very
It's the
nice.
world's famous Chinese Robbie Theater.
Oh, God, that's not okay.
Which is very nearby the Rock and Roll Ralphs where Robbie had the crap kicked out of him, literally,
Yes. Oh,
for
God.
taking
with
too long in the
popcorn.
bathroom.
That's not butter on your popcorn. All right, guys, if you're in Los Angeles, check out the Improv website. No, absolutely. Get out, Robbie, so Matt can say things too. If you're in Los Angeles or in Southern California, check out the Improv website. Look up the Nighttime Show. We're every month here, once a month, Saturday night, main room, 10 p.m. We've got amazing sponsors, huge comedians, always performing, and it's a glorious time. Find me at Stephen Glickman, STEPHEN Glickman on Twitter and Instagram, and we post clips from the Nighttime Show and from the Nighttime Show podcast on youtube.com/funny guy from TV. Matt, where can they find you?
They can find me in the bathroom throwing up after that Robbie story.
Oh, God, Matt. I know.
Just look for Funny Matt online, and you'll find me.
Yeah. Or you can look at I Hate Matt. It's I Hate
MattWalkerSucks.com.
MattWalkerSucks.com, where people just talk massive shit about you. Like me, constantly. Yeah. Thanks so much for listening. Payman, love you, buddy. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks, man.
Really cool.
Yeah, it was
You're the
really
best.
fun. It was awesome.
Peace.